What if I told you there's a device that can help you start your car even when the battery is almost dead? But it's not the typical jump starter, you know? And the most interesting part is that it doesn't use batteries. Well, it exists, and today, I'm going to show you something different. Something that can completely change the way you deal with a dead battery. If you're already tired of your car not starting right when you need it most, or your battery dying at the most inconvenient times, well, this is going to interest you a lot. I'm also going to tell you the whole truth, what's good about it, and how far it can really help you. This is the Ansel BS200 Superstarter, and it's not your typical jump starter. It's something else. Let's get straight to the point. Welcome. Today, I'm going to talk to you about this device that's designed to help you start your vehicle, even when the battery is very low. But here's the key difference. Unlike traditional or common jump starters that use lithium batteries, this one uses supercapacitors. Yes, that's right, supercapacitors. This means several important things. First, you don't have to worry about overheating or fire risk like with some portable jump starters that you leave in the vehicle, and something unpleasant could happen. Second, it's practically maintenance-free. And third, it can work in extreme temperatures without any problem. But most importantly, this isn't a portable device to carry from car to car. This is something you install directly in your vehicle. That's the key detail. So pay attention. This booster connects in parallel with the car's battery. And thanks to its smart system, it automatically detects the battery's condition and helps you at startup. But it's important for you to understand. Why does a battery fail? It doesn't fail out of nowhere. There are clear reasons: short trips, heavy traffic, the car sitting for days, cold weather, natural wear and tear. The battery never charges properly, and little by little, it gets weaker. Until one day, it won't start. And people turn to the usual solutions, right? Jump starting with cables, another vehicle, roadside assistance, and it's not always practical. But here's where something different comes in. This isn't a jump starter. This is a battery companion. It works with you every day, helps you start the car even with low voltage, and reduces the strain on the battery, helping it last much longer. Plus, it has Bluetooth connectivity. You connect it to an app, and from there you can monitor everything: charge, discharge, voltage, temperature, both of the booster and the vehicle's battery. But now let's talk about what's included. This is the box. Let's see what's inside. Open it, and here we see the Superstarter. You have your instructions. You have some tie wraps, some securing ties that you can use when you place it in the spot you're going to put it under the hood. Here you have some clamps. This is in case you have to or need to jumpstart another vehicle. Well, there you have your clamps, and we take them out, and that's how it comes with its cables. Positive cable, negative cable, and that's how it's going to arrive at your home. The positive cable will come protected. That's very good. And I also noticed that you have a small USB port here. There you have it in case you want to charge it at your home. Obviously, when you connect it to the battery, it will charge, but also if you want to charge it at home, it has a USB port for charging. And here's something that a lot of people don't understand. This device doesn't have internal batteries. Everything works with supercapacitors, as I mentioned earlier, and that eliminates the risk of explosion or fire inside the engine compartment. Those capacitors are designed to last up to 10,000 charge cycles. That's a significant number, especially at the moment of starting. They can release a high current instantly. That's what allows the engine to start even when the battery is low. If you rarely use your car or leave it parked for weeks, like many people with a second vehicle, you might just leave it in the garage or driveway for long periods. Well, this device can make a huge difference when it comes to specifications. Well, it works on systems up to 20 volts, delivers a maximum of 700 amps, and operates from 40 to 80 degrees Celsius, yes. In addition, it is water resistant with an IP65 rating. Now, a key question. Will this drain the car's battery if you leave it installed? Of course, that's a very legitimate concern. The answer is no. That's not supposed to happen. The standby consumption is just 3 milliamps, which is practically nothing. On the side, you have a manual discharge button and 3 LED lights. I'll show you during installation, but I'll quickly explain now. Red is for discharge, blue is for the Bluetooth connection, and green is for the system. If the capacitor is low, the red LED blinks. If it's charging, it stays on. You also have 8-gauge cables. When the car is on, the vehicle itself automatically charges this device, but you can also charge it separately via USB. Yes, but it charges automatically. Now, something very important. The device is mainly designed for gasoline engines up to 3.0 liters. I'm going to install it right away in a vehicle that has a 1.5-liter engine. It's a Honda Accord 2020, and you'll see how it works. It's amazing. Now, why do bigger engines need more current to start? For example, a 2 to 3-liter engine may need between 400 and 600 amps, but a 3 to 4-liter engine may need up to 800 amps. And this device delivers a maximum of 700. Therefore, if you have a large vehicle or a bigger engine, it might not work for you. This is for vehicles with engines from 1.5 up to 3.0 liters. So, how do you know if it works for your car? It's very, very easy. Check your battery. If it's below 700 amps, there's a good chance it will work well, and that will be stated right there on the label, on most of them. Let's move on to the installation. All right, now we're going to do the installation, and I'm going to do it on this Honda Accord. This one's a 2020 model and has a 1.5 turbo engine. Obviously, it's within the specifications for the Superstar, the BS200. But one of the main things you have to do before buying it, a very important tip, is to check that under the hood, under the engine cover, you have the space where you'll be able to use it. Because some engines don't have a setup like this, with available spaces, since this is going to be permanently under your engine cover. In this case, this one here really doesn't have any problem. I could fit it there and it won't have any issues, but it's important that you do this before buying it, to see exactly where you're going to place it. Alright, let's get to work. Well, you'll usually find this battery with this little cover here. You remove it to loosen the nuts, and that way, you can connect the positive and negative terminals, and that way, you can start working with the Superstar BS200. Obviously, we need to loosen those nuts a bit. Use your favorite tool to open up the space you'll need. And after you've loosened the nuts, you proceed to connect the terminals. You start with the positive, tighten it, and then connect the negative. And after you connect it, you'll notice that the lights will turn on. It has 3 lights here, 3 indicators. This one means the Bluetooth connection, whether it's online or offline. This one indicates the charge of the BS200. Here it means that it has intermittent charge. It has charge, but it's not fully charged yet, and it charges from the battery. Or also, as I told you, it can be charged with a USB-C cable, separately from the battery. And here, draining load means that when it's lighting up like this, it's delivering charge, or the BS200 jump starter is discharging. After installing the cables, you need to find the location. In this case, as I mentioned, it's easy. I'm going to place it here, and I shouldn't have any problem closing the hood. Now, if you want its full measurements so you can know, if you want to measure your engine before buying it, the space you might have to fit it in. Well, this measures approximately 9 inches wide, and I'm going to ask my editor to please put the measurement in centimeters in the metric system. I say it in inches because in the United States, inches are used. You have 2 inches in height and 3.5 inches deep. The cables are 11 inches long. There you have the reference about the measurements. Just in case, you should also download the app to make the most of your Superstar's functionality. You'll find it as Ansel Superstar. It's very easy. You'll find it there. BS200. When it tells you to add the device, it says you need to authorize the location permission. We authorize it and continue. It says Bluetooth needs access. All right, let's authorize it. And here you'll enter the device number. You'll find it there with the serial number, and then it will ask you about the type of battery. This is important. You'll need to tell it. First, check your vehicle's battery type. If it's an AGM battery, select that or choose the correct type from the list. But in this case, the Honda Accord has an ordinary lead-acid battery. That's the one we're going to choose. We add it, and now we have access to the application with all the parameters and all the information. And you're really going to like this a lot. And besides that, if you want to secure these cables so they look a bit neater somewhere, you hook them here. That's what these tie wraps, these fasteners that come included in the box, are for. 1 and 2. 1 for each of the cables, and that way you can secure them. You'd have to see in your engine compartment where you're going to attach them. Now let's start the vehicle, and we've already started it. And there, with the vehicle running, we see the app that gives us all the information. The jump starter is at 100%. The battery status is perfect. It's charging at 75%. That's very good. As we can see, this vehicle has no issues. The jump starter's charge status here is 100%. Voltage is 14,911,490 volts. The temperature is 89.6 Fahrenheit. This is the temperature, the weather we have at this moment. The battery section is at 76%. The charge status, voltage, 14.47. If we go to star, we only have that the vehicle is an arrow. I mean, it's stationary, 98%. Charge status, 98%. It gives you the voltage. It keeps giving us the battery. This Ford Star is when the battery is in very bad condition. When it's at a pretty low percentage, you can force start it. By pressing this button, the starter, it helps you start. Of course, as I mentioned before, for people who live in cold climates or vehicles that haven't been used in a long time, this would be ideal. If you're a fan of statistics, you go here to History, to the log. It's going to save the state of charge history for you. This will obviously show today's date. You also have devices now. So, this is the ANSI Jump Starter, and the settings are here. Let's say you can change things. Well, let's change it to temperature in degrees Celsius. Right here, I'll show it to you in degrees Celsius, 33 degrees. Let's continue here in the settings. If you want daily battery power notifications, you can have them sent to you once every 9 hours. You can receive that notification. An alarm, if you want to set it up for when the battery is at around 60%. You can play with this and lower it too. Let's say, when it's below 40%, it will notify you. It will notify you with an alarm so you have that information. Explore data. Explore information. Well, here we have this. That's the serial number of the device itself. It also has updates for the app. Updates so your ANS 200 Jump Starter works perfectly, and this abnormal cranking is abnormal starting. It's a notification you can have set up. If you don't want any of these notifications, you simply turn them off. But anyway, let's leave it activated here for the purposes of this demonstration. Abnormal cranking notification means abnormal cranking. It means that if during the start, the jump starter detects that something isn't working properly in that process, it's going to let you know. I find the app itself, in general, pretty good because it analyzes the voltage behavior of the starting system and shows it clearly. And it also directly measures the condition or the state of charge of the battery. It breaks the information down into different modules that are quite useful. I really find it very useful because when you start the vehicle, you'll see how everything starts charging up quickly. If your battery is not in a very good condition, even if it's down to 5%, it can help you. And it can be useful so that it starts instantly, lets you switch temperature units, view startup history, and monitor current use. I've shown some features, and it also has a forced start mode. What does that do? Well, if the battery is very low, you can release all the energy from the booster at once. Also, you can set up alerts like I already showed you during the installation. In real use, this is a set it and forget it, what they call plug and play, and it's always there ready to help you. But also, like in all the reviews I do, I mention the things that might be useful to know before you buy it. Well, this is not a foolproof tool. Now, I want to clarify exactly what this device is. This device doesn't create energy magically. It only helps when starting the car. If your battery is already damaged and your battery is practically useless, below 5%. If your alternator fails, for example, or if you have an electrical drain that discharges it. Well, the problem is still there, and the device itself won't help you in those cases. In a nutshell, it helps you start when the battery is low, but it doesn't replace a battery or a healthy electrical system. Now, to be completely honest, for about $150, which is what this device costs at the time of recording this video, check the website since prices may drop, discounts could appear, or prices might stay the same. The manufacturer sets the price, but it's for the right type of user. This could be a pretty smart solution. If you're interested, I'll leave the link in the description. Also, you have a discount available. Act now to use the discount while watching this video. Click the link for details on how to get it, the price, and the discount. I also want to hear your opinion. So, would you install something like this in your car? The Superstar DS200. Let me know in the comments. Check out the link in the description, and that's all for now. See you in the next video. A big hug. Thanks for watching the video.